I'm Scott Lucas. This is EA Worldview's Vital Center, the videos that get you to the truth away from the fake news and disinformation that's trying to hide it. This week, the chemical weapons attack in northwest Syria by the Assad regime. Here are the facts. On April the 4th, an Su-22 jet fighter of the Syrian Air Force, on orders from someone in the Assad regime, dropped a missile onto the town of Khan Sheikhoun in Idlib province in northwest Syria. That missile did not explode with a loud bang because it was not a conventional weapon. It hit with a thud, but it was just as deadly as a bomb because what it then released was a vial of nerve agent, sarin or a sarin-like substance. The cloud with that substance enveloped the town, killing at least 93 people and injuring almost 600 people. Here are the facts. We know of this attack because the Su-22 jet fighter was tracked by radar, including by the U.S. military. We know that it was a missile that was dropped with traces of a nerve agent because remnants of that missile were recovered from a crater in the town. We know that victims suffered from sarin exposure because of the autopsies of bodies of those who died and the reports of those who were treated, injured but still alive, in Turkish hospitals. We know of this from videos, photographs, local witnesses, the inspectors of the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, and numerous intelligence agencies, including those from US, France, Britain, and Turkey. These are the facts, but they are inconvenient facts if you're the Assad regime or its allies, Russia and Iran. So in the next 5 weeks, there has been a systematic attempt to cover up those facts and to obscure them with disinformation rather than vital information. For example, the story that you would be given by Russia when it finally settled upon a story was that there was a warehouse that was indeed hit by a regime jet, but that warehouse was a rebel warehouse filled with chemical stocks. Never mind the fact that you cannot have a sarin attack just by dropping a bomb on stocks because you have to mix it. Never mind the fact that no warehouse was hit near Khan Sheikhoun on April the 4th or any time soon afterwards. So Russia tried another line. Maybe this was a rebel false flag attack. Maybe the rebels set off the chemical device inside Khan Sheikhoun to blame the Assad regime. Never mind the fact that there are no rebels in Khan Sheikhoun, have not been in the town for months. They're in other areas of Idlib province. No matter that no one saw rebels at any point on April the 4th inside the town or saw them anywhere near a chemical munition. Maybe you wish to try President Assad's version, that there was no attack at all, that all of this was a fabrication, 100% fabrication. Never mind the fact that somehow more than 93 people and at least 600 people were either killed or injured by something that happened on April the 4th. That seems straightforward enough. But in the Syrian conflict, where systematic disinformation tries to get us from the truth, this is not straightforward. Not because everyone is complicit in the Russian Assad regime operations, but because of those who are unwitting but foolish, even as they claim to be experts. Consider, for example, that there is a scientist named Theodore Postel of MIT. Not a very effective scientist, one who has been discredited on a number of occasions. But Postel said, perhaps rebels banged with a large object on top of a rocket to detonate the chemical vial. Never mind the fact that despite his extrapolations, there's absolutely no evidence from the missile remnant, or indeed from local witnesses, that this took place. And indeed, Postel has changed his story on several occasions, now reverting to the idea maybe it was a warehouse that was hit by a fighter jet. You know, the same line the Russians put out, again without evidence. Consider Robert Fisk, once a quality reporter for The Independent of London, Now someone who just simply spreads various strands of information, rumor, disinformation, as if it might be fact. Why, he says, would the Assad regime have actually carried out this chemical attack? Why, oh why could they have done it? It must have been the rebels, or it must be a conspiracy, a story spread by Western intelligence agencies, because remember what they did in Iraq 2003. Or consider, to my great regret, Noam Chomsky, a man who has been influential, and rightly so, in raising great theories of linguistics, in exposing the duplicity and propaganda of countries in times past, but who now recycles Russian and regime propaganda because it means he can again target the United States. So Chomsky says, without any further evidence, why, Theodore Postel is a fine scientist. This must be true. And why, oh why, would Assad carry out such an attack? Well, perhaps we might consider, why, oh why, if Assad was winning the Syrian war, have we seen scores of hospitals attacked in recent weeks and months? Scores of medical clinics, of civil defense centers, infrastructure, power plants that continue to be attacked. Why have we seen thousands of civilians who have been killed in airstrikes in recent months? Is all of this a Western plot to deceive us? Is all of this some type of unjustified smear against the Assad regime? Of course not. Here are the facts. On April the 4th, an Su-22 jet fighter dropped a vial of nerve agent inside a missile which landed on the town of Khan Sheikhoun, killing at least 93 people and wounding almost 600. We start from that point, and then we can discuss the significance. I'm Scott Lucas, and this is EA Worldview's The Vital Center.